Excellent, excellent. Welcome back to the Sports Ranter. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you, Jake, for joining us here again. Week 9 of the NFL, and it's really like the craziest roller coaster ride I've ever been on. But big week with trades, and we're getting into the last part of the stretch, so we want to kind of cover our league standings to kind of give our viewers exactly where we are. Obviously, we're claiming to have fantasy experience to help you build yours. So we kind of want to show you where we're at this season with that. Thank you, Nick, for bringing this up. Uh, um, here it is. Right now, the division winners or the division in first place is Keep Pounding That Pookie. Me in first place. Andrew not here because he's a coach doing some sports ranter things with little kids. He's in first place in his division. We got Brian in first in his division, but right there behind, right there close is Jake, right at 4-5, and 5-4. Nick, right? You guys are right there in the stretch. You're not far behind, right?
Holding on, man. Holding on. It's been a tough year.
Jake, I have to say you've been very, very, very active on the treads with what's going on with your teams weekly. I don't know what you're going through, but it seems like you're going through a lot.
Especially in our league with Nick, man. My first round pick was Malik Neighbors. I lost him. Uh,
uh,
second round pick was Nico Collins, who has been hurt a lot and has not really lived up to expectation and all that. And then I took I took what's his face what's his face really
Here's your league.
uh what do we got here? This is or I'm talking my team in Nick's league, right? Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, so then I took obviously Jaden Daniels ripped pretty early, and that's just been one disaster after another. So it's just been a lot of injuries. I was very fortunate to hold on to Rasheed Rice, and
mm,
luckily T Higgins has not snake bit me. He slid in the draft, and it got to a point in the draft where he was there, and it was like I couldn't pass him up. And I tell everybody all the time, don't have recency bias. Don't pass up on talent and players just because they wronged you many times. But the thing that's saving me is just I hit a good one with DeAndre Swift late and Travis Etienne late. But
mm,
the thing that has really I've always done really well in Nick's league with this, because defenses are worth a lot in Nick's league, is I've always been able to string defenses really well, play the matchups and play the weather and things like that. And boy have I missed on that. Boy have I missed on that. And I text you guys earlier on Sunday. The last 4 weeks, my defenses that I've started combined, which has been a combination of Jacksonville, who at the time was the number 2 defense in the league. I started a San Francisco. I streamed, some other ones, but in 4 weeks, I've scored a total of I think it was 2 points with my defenses, and 2 of those weeks were negative points. So that really hurts when a defense can easily get 15 points in that league. That really hurts. But it's just I've had a lot of things go right that just went wrong. I drafted Trey Benson, knowing that Connor probably wouldn't last and that they'd be giving him a bigger role in a lot of leagues, and then he goes out and he gets hurt, sure enough. But I'm hanging in there. I am hanging in there, and now that I got another hill to climb, now that Jaden Daniels is officially out, which is like blessing in
You got
disguise.
Armageddon this week on your team, man.
I know, and so I will
It's gonna be
probably.
hard to squeak out a win this week,
Well,
and you really need it.
I'm lucky. I squeaked out a win this last week because looking ahead at this week, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to
Yeah,
even field a team because I got so many buys, and I don't have a lot of. I mean, I got a few names there I can drop, but yeah, it's going to be tough to get field a team. But luckily, Mason's back with Aaron Jones out again. So anyway, that's where I'm at in my league or in my team in Nick's league there. So
Yeah,
Uh,
I just want to reiterate, like we said at the beginning, and we've always said, like my league, I don't know why, dude. It's just so competitive. It's so close every year.
mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, even
Yeah.
Andrew is 72. It's not running away with it. You know, if you look, he's not even the leader in points. He's behind. You know,
Nick's
second, third, and
Andrew's
fourth have
seven
more
and two in
points
this
than
league.
him. Huh?
Yep.
Andrew's
Yeah,
seven
Yep.
and
yeah.
two in my league too, man. He's
And
on fire.
so, yeah, if you look at points
Bullshit. I hate it.
scored, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, we're even the guys at 3-6 technically aren't out of it. Like they're just not out of it yet. So,
He's high
You
scoring
know,
my
it
league.
used to irk me a lot with the whole Rich talking about your league, Jake. The whole Richie thing, right? Yes, we're the OGs. It's not there, the fire, but it's
Beat
just
Richie.
it's transferred. I freaking hate it when Andrew does well, man. Like, I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it.
because
I'm
he's
looking at
full
his
of it.
team in my league and
Where you at, Drew? Oh, that's in your Bluetooth right now while you're
Because he's full of
coaching
it.
kids.
Okay, I'm gonna rant on Andrew right now because these stupid text messages about Mac Jones. Get the F out of here. Get out of here. Now you're a Max Jones guy and he's better than Brock Purdy. Get out of
That's
here.
what
Oh,
I was trying to
he
say. I
can
was like,
move better. He can move out of the pocket better. What is he watching? Mac Jones can't run. He cannot run. I'm
that,
just like this guy. That's why we hate it so much because he has these outrageous takes that just like get out of here with your Niner crap. Kyle Shanahan is a genius, and just leave
yeah,
it at that.
yeah.
Don't come with me with this Mac Jones bull crap.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make no sense to me.
Everything Niners, man.
Yeah, everything Niners like get
No, but
out of here.
the truth is, he is 7-2 in both leagues, and it's whatever. We'll
He'll
see
lose
what
the
happens.
championship like he always does.
I just like that we're all there. So Jake made a good point. What he did right, and even though some things he did right didn't benefit him, Nick, what do you think you did right to keep you right now at 5-4?
Well, I did the cardinal sin and left the guy in who was out. Sorry, I'm trying to go to the score here. So I lost by .88.
Oh God.
Who's a
And
Patriots fan?
I left Marvin Mims in when he was
There's
out.
still
and I got
Patriot
a
fans
0.
out there?
Nick, that's
I
a
got it.
rookie mistake.
That's a rookie mistake.
What'd you do, Nick? I'm sorry.
That's not a two-time champion mistake there. Should have got a win. I mean, I'm assuming whoever I put in here gets 1 point. I left Marvin Mims here and he was ruled out. And I ended up going to goose egg and I lose by less than a point. So that really hurts. But I mean, like I did last year and this year, I mean, I know you guys texted it. I don't think it's true, even in fantasy. The whole Genty's a bust. He got me 20 points again. Like, it just, Josh Jacobs, another 20-point week. The solid running backs with the fill-in receivers. Michael Pittman's been solid. Romeo Dobbs been solid. I got George Kittle back. He had an okay week, but just having him back, I got Devontae Smith down there who's up and down. If McLaurin ever comes back, like it's very, very similar to my team last year. That you look at my receivers, you're like, oh, he can't win with those receivers. It's like, no, I can, and I think that's what's happening. I had to spot start Aaron Rodgers with Baker on a bye this week, and that didn't turn out. I was hoping it'd be a little more high scoring. Seeing that Indy, has been putting up points at record pace, and the Pittsburgh defense has been letting everybody score on them. I was hoping Pittsburgh would be playing from behind, and Rodgers would get a lot better. And to everybody's surprise, Pittsburgh jumped out to a good league, played defense, and Aaron Rodgers didn't have to do much. And every time they got down there, they ran it in. Jalen Warren had a touchdown and stuff like that. So it just didn't work out. The game script, didn't work out. But I still think it was a pretty good spot start and for Baker Mayfield. But No, I like having the solid running backs. I wish I had one more. I only have the two. David Montgomery is not as solid as I thought he was going to be. I mean, he's a
Ah,
good 10
I
point
know.
guy,
I love
He,
him.
he's who
but
he's who I traded away for T Higgins in my league.
yeah,
I traded away Montgomery.
I would love to have David Montgomery or T Higgins over David Montgomery. But then he does provide the depth, so it's fine. But last year I had three solid running backs, and that's who won me the league. I would say I have like 2.5 now. So that makes me nervous because, like I said, I don't have the stud receivers. You know, even though they're doing good, at any given moment they'll give me the 5 points, but it doesn't matter if you got three studs. 2.5, big deal. You know, fantasy's a big deal like that. So, but other than that, I mean, yeah, like Jake said, a lot of injuries, and I didn't have Kittle at the beginning. I don't have Terry McLaurin, um, I think I think I dropped some. I forgot who I lost somebody on IR, so that's why I have Marvin Mims and people like that. But I mean, it's it's a ongoing battle and struggle and trying to fill out a roster every week with bye weeks and everything now. But that's what makes it fun. Our league is super ultra competitive, and honestly, it's just like any other sports thing. Just trying to get just in our league, just trying to get in the dance. Get in the dance, and then you got a shot. Like just get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just if you can just tread water, around 500, it's like you can't get the margin of error between your wins and losses and how your team versus it stays so razor thin. So I in my other league I started out 2-0 and I had lost six straight. And I was pretty stacked in that league. My receivers were CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and Nico Collins, and I had Swift and Genty as my running backs.
Ooh.
But Jaden Daniels was my quarterback, and he just was not doing it. There has been no streaming quarterbacks this year. It's if you don't find a really good matchup against like against like the Bengals or something like that, it's like, I mean, you're starting Bryce Young, and that's scary shit. It's the streaming game this year has been really tough. So
No,
if
it's
you
it's a great point, Jake. I mean, let's talk about the Colts, for instance, and Daniel Jones coming out hot, and absolutely, like they're a great team and they're blowing things up, but Daniel Jones ain't showing up on the fantasy spectrum like he was in the very beginning, and so it's hard to gauge when you are spot playing quarterbacks, and it sucks if you went all in on Lamar Jackson too because he hasn't played most of the season. So if you did go that route and you had a solid quarterback, that kind of hurts you. Thank God he's back, and so there's different
Yeah, I
strategies
mean,
that's out there. Go ahead, Nick.
I didn't realize Justin Herbert's number 2 quarterback in our
Just,
league.
Justin Herbert has the most rushing yards of any quarterback right now.
Um,
I mean, that's pretty wild, you
Wow.
know.
yeah, I mean
But
Daniel Jones you brought up, Ben, is number 7. Is top 10 quarterback there.
he had a bad
Um,
week this week, but he's been pretty consistent. Daniel Jones has been pretty consistent. But if you
No.
look at the top 10, you got Drake May, you got um, Daniel Jones, you got a
oh,
lot of
Nix
guys
is
that
still
came
there.
that were not even drafted that are in the top 10 right now. So this was the year. If you were one of those that don't take the stud quarterbacks early and you like to wait and stream quarterbacks, this was a good year for it.
100%, 100%. And so, but um, and one thing that I think I did right is I just kind of stayed home. I made sure that uh, I think handcuffing my number two running back with James Cook is really really benefiting me. And one thing that was hard for me is these receivers. I end up taking Olave, Waddle, Harrison. I took them all to kind of together, and none of them have really kind of reached their true potential and haven't really kind of been there. But I went for it and I stayed home, and it's benefiting, and so I think that's one thing I did right is I just kind of stayed home. I did what I'm supposed to do. I got my number two running back. I got my receivers. And it's just been kind of easier to spot play just your tight end if you need to. Or, in that case, I lost Kraft. I had Tucker Kraft. And so I'm losing that. And so, but I got Mason Taylor and Barner, some guys that are still ranked high. I knew that, you know, having strength in all of your slots is important. And so if you lose a guy like Kraft, you still need to find a way to compete if you get to the dance. And so that's why I've been paying attention to the players market, making sure that I'm still stacking if I can. If I have a way to afford a player, I really don't need him anymore. I'm going to try to anticipate me injuries and getting my team ready for a championship run. 100%.
Marvin Harrison, he's got good days ahead as long as Brissett is quarterback there.
Ben, your team is not. I mean,
yeah,
give yourself a little more credit. I mean, your receivers are 7, 11, and 12 in a 12-team league. That's 3 number 1 receivers.
Yeah.
So even though they haven't reached their potential based on how the league's doing, you have 3 number 1 receivers, and then like Jake just said, you have Marvin Harrison. Yeah, he's a number 3 right now, but like good days are coming. Hopefully, like
you have Goff on your bench, dude. Hit me up for a trade. Like I'm desperate. God,
what? I didn't know.
Well, that's the thing. We got to talk about this, guys, because what can we do? You know, what can we do to motivate trades in our leagues? Because, like Ben just said, I didn't know. It's like, dude, I'm desperate. Like, there's got to be a way to where I know everybody turns the notifications off on all because we all have so many fantasy threads going off, but there's got to be like, I'm just shocked. Like I'm looking at Ben's. I'm like, man, I would have made a trade for him. And
there's not a trade block I thought there was a trade block that said, hey, bam, I'm looking for this or I need that. I thought there was something that you can do to alert. I mean, maybe I wasn't in panic mode, Jake, so I wasn't like looking at everybody's roster like I used to all the damn time, But I don't know.
I'm extending my trade deadline in my league a week because I think it's kind of ridiculous to have. My trade deadline is tomorrow, and we just get through with all the NFL trades. It's like, I got out of work at 2:00. I didn't even know what was going on, so I'm extending my trade deadline a week so people have a chance to assess, and look. But I'll be hitting you up, Ben. I guess right after the show. I need a quarterback, man.
And you know what? And I'll let you know right now. I'm interested in that because I do go back and forth. I do like Jared Goff. I do believe he struggles on the road. But sometimes it's a good game, and in the high-stakes game, he fucking shows up, man, And so it might work out for you. So, hey, I'm always looking to improve my roster.
I'll send out a text. I just checked.
How about this, Jake? How about
November 12th, guys? November 12th is the trade deadline. So
okay.
November 12th. How about this, Jake? If you can somehow hack in, I will give you Jared Goff. If you can give me some life in your league, because even though I pulled off a win, it doesn't even look bad either, right? But still, it just didn't bounce my way with some of those 1-point losses, like if I lost by a point by you because of fucking Bijan Robinson. and by Joe and by Brian. I lost to all those guys by 1 point or 2 points this year. So I could easily be 5-4, right? I could easily be 5-4, but I'm 2-7, and
that's rough. That's real rough.
Hosting a fantasy football podcast. This is to millions of viewers. This is embarrassing. So yeah, speaking of your league, Jake, I love it. I definitely have told myself, even though Brock Bowers showed up this week, biting on that tight end early really hurts you if it doesn't come, and especially in a standard league, particularly in a standard league. And so I love biting it. I love having it. But it's just not the way it was when we had Gates and Gronkowski, and where everybody was giving solid touchdowns a week, right? It just seems to not be that way with the tight end. So I think that's kind of why I am struggling. I continue to bite for that tight end early, and it doesn't come to fruition, and I don't change it. So hopefully next year, I'll learn
Ben,
my
I don't think
lesson.
it's a bad move that you did biting on Brock Bowers early. It's just one of your early round picks got hurt. Like if Bowers doesn't get hurt, I mean he
Tyreek Hill.
first game back though, you see what Brock Bowers does and what he's capable of. You have that through all those weeks that he was hurt, and it's a different story. You look like a genius because you've been on the tight end early. Nick's league, I've been really struggling because Malik Neighbors goes out, and it's like fantasy football is one of those things where you can't beat yourself up when the injury bug hits you, because it can happen to anybody, and those top round picks are a big deal. But Brock, I mean, first game back, the dude gets, he scores 41 fantasy points. Like, you can't tell me that dude's a bust. He just got hurt, Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad move at all. I just, it's this to the same guy that drafted Omari and Hampton, or drafted, some of these dudes that get hurt. Injuries are a part of it. So, but you can't bash your draft strategy being 2-7 because Bowers missed the last 6 games.
But with that being said, even though I'm complaining about it, Nick is right. I can recall I do make a few bonehead cute moves. I get a little too cute in the very beginning, thinking I got it figured out, and kind of take myself out of those 1-point games, right? I think sometimes just kind of let it be, let your team, and then wait till around maybe week 5 before you really have to make any moves. I think week 4, week 5 really is the right time to really make some crazy moves on your team before you get crazy. So anyways, guys, fantasy football is week 10. So we've got about 6 or 7 more weeks, right? 6, 7. This man, then 6, 7. We have this thing going on in the world, but that's about right? 6 or 7 more weeks.
We have five more weeks to go in the regular season. Five more
weeks in the regular season.
So quick.
And it goes,
I know.
Yeah, wow. It goes by so quick. So, is any of these trades that happen in the league gonna change the fantasy world at all? Jake, what do you think?
From what I've, getting off work, not being able to go through everything, but I didn't really see a lot of trades I didn't really see any trades that are going to be hyper, impactful to fantasy football. I saw Jacoby Myers got traded to the Jaguars. So your Travis Hunter, stuff. I mean, he's already on IR anyway, but, that was probably, the most impactful. I cannot believe the Jets did not trade Breece Hall. Like, they're going to literally let him walk away into free agency next year, get nothing for him, and he's not signing back with them. So it's like, what I heard, the Kansas City Chiefs offered a 4th round, and they were looking for a 3rd round. It's like, your team is 1-7. You're not fighting for anything. Take the 4th round pick. Breece Hall is not going to sign here. Like, what is the big deal? Like take a 4th rounder and let him go. It just boggles my mind. He was one guy that I really thought was going to. I actually offered some trades in a few leagues to get him, thinking he was going to be traded. I didn't recollect seeing any quarterbacks, on the move. Kyler Murray was one that I think that Arizona's given up on, and he stayed put. Russell Wilson stayed put. I thought for sure, Geno Smith would be out. Maybe that last, performance saved him. But no, I didn't really see a lot that I thought was gonna impact, anything fantasy relevant. But if from a football standpoint, I'm a little, shake the, I know Dallas got Quinnen Williams. Dallas's defense, everyone was allowed, able to run on them, and the Jets traded him, and
Wilson. So they got a linebacker and a D tackle.
Yeah,
I
so
think
that could potentially stiffen up that defense a little bit. Um, but beyond that, no, not a whole lot that I thought was very relevant to
What
fantasy.
about what about
Raheed Shaheed going to Seattle is more significant
Yeah,
than I think, only because Sam Darnold is already. I mean, you just saw what he did. He's got weapons there, and just to have that big playability, I think it helps if you have Sam Darnold as somebody you start. Like, one more
that
weapon
rookie
on an
Torrey
offense
Holton
is
was
always
tearing it
good.
up. I thought I
Hmm?
was surprised that rookie Torrey Holton, the guy that got 2 touchdowns
Yeah.
this week, he was looked like he was gelling into this deep threat. I was looking to target him and on waivers and stuff, and then Shaheed comes in. It's like, well, but yeah, sorry, Nick, to go ahead.
No, no, that's it. I mean, like I said, not very significant, but I just want to throw that one out there. Like if you're a Sam Darnold owner or someone who needs a quarterback and trade for one, Jake, you might want to look at going out and getting Sam Darnold, who on somebody's team could be tradable.
I
Or
actually just traded for him right before the show in
oh,
my
there you
softball
go.
league. Yeah,
So yeah, just there you go. Advice that we do ourselves to our viewers. So
yeah,
I think that's significant enough. And yeah, that's really all the relevance that happened today.
yeah. I'm surprised not more, but that's the league. But
Sauce
what do you?
Gar?
I want to know what Ben. I want to know Ben. You got to talk about this Rico Dowdle situation. What's
I
going
know
on
it's
here?
so crazy.
Because
Oh, here
I
we
got Chuba. I
go.
drafted Chuba
Here
Hubbard in
we
2 leagues.
go.
Ben drafts Chuba Hubbard early last year. Turns out to be a genius move. Scores, what, 11, 12 touchdowns. I do it this year, and now all of a sudden the dude falls off the face of the damn earth. So, Ben, what's going on with that?
You know what? To tell you the truth, they obviously Chuba Hubbard is one of their first contracts they made rebuilding this team. If you know who Chuba Hubbard is, he basically lives at the facility. He basically got paid for not only being the starting running back before Rico Dowdle was signed in the offseason. He already got paid because he was already number one running back, but also that leader that Dave Canales can lean on for his culture, for his program, right? Number one is production. He's good. Okay. Number one situation is Rico Dowdle's balling out. Like that's the fact the matter is. When you come down to the film, when it comes down to the numbers now, obviously they're trying to do Chuba right because he got hurt. They gave him 2 chances to split carries with Rico Dowdle. And even within those 2 weeks, Rico Dowdle had 7 yards per carry. Chuba Hubbard only had 3 yards per carry. Trust him, every reporter in the world hounded Dave Canales about this. What the fuck's your problem? What the fuck's your problem? What the fuck's your problem? I just think Dave Canales is a class dude. He gave Hubbard the right go to give him his chance. He's the paid dude, the guy. The fact of the matter is Rico Dowdle's balling out. He's very smart. He has a very, very Le'Veon Bellish type way through the line. It doesn't matter who's there. He has a way of seeing who's blocked. It's pretty crazy. I've been watching it, but they're gonna roll with him. I have Rico Dowdle in your league because I knew he was gonna be used in a situation, not in this fashion. Third highest rusher in the league and only started 3 games. Really, and shared the rest of the time. So I don't know,
I
sir.
feel like it's he came in at the right time because they played Dallas and they played Miami, which were two terrible rush defenses.
Yep.
But they use them a lot differently. Like the 2 running backs I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like when Hubbard comes in, it's this power I formation, 2 tight end. We're running the ball. Everybody knows it. When Dowdle comes in, it's kind of like gets a little bit benefits from the element of surprise a little bit, and he does, and he's looked great. It's hard for me to sit here and maybe I'm just biased because I'm a Chuba Hubbard owner in my league, and I'm really bummed about this, but it's just like it's just like he's that guy that gets those opportunities when it's like pound. When Chuba came back, I believe the the attempts, the rush attempts were 50-50, and the yardage was pretty much the same. I think it was within like 2 yards or something like that. And then this last week, obviously, Rico had the bigger game, but I want to, I'm wondering what would happen if they the touches that Rico were getting in those situations, Chuba got, and then the touches that Chuba's getting in the situations Rico got. I'm wondering how it would look, but it definitely looks like a Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery looking thing where you got one really fast dude that's great pass catcher and one that looks like the kind of bruiser.
Well, they always talk right. They're very happy to have them both. Coach Canales can call whatever play as long as they're back there. I'll tell you this. Here's what I thought was interesting in the game versus the Packers. Rico Dowdle gets them down there. He's been played, but now Chuba's in for the series. Okay? There's the first sack of the game. Bryce Young fumbles the ball. Chuba Hubbard's in there. He's alert enough to pick the ball up and get the ball, and basically probably the game-saving play, because the Panthers fumble, the game's over. You know what I'm saying? Turnover, it's fucking over for sure. But he saves that play. He extends it 8 yards. Okay, in that drive, they get close to the goal line. They take his ass out, and they put Rico Dowdle in for a 1-yard run. So I don't know. I know they're trying to respect him. I know that. Here's what I know. I'm so happy to have him as a Panther fan because when it comes to playoff time, they're going to need them both, right? So, but in fantasy world, they're going to ride Rico Dowdle until it stops. And
yeah, you always ride the hot hand. That's no joke.
For fantasy this year, he's great. You guys can all draft him next year. He's going to be a bust.
Sure. Yeah, they're not vested in him,
I don't believe this guy. I just don't know where the hell this is coming from.
Rico Dowdle?
That's kind of what I'm saying, Nick. Like,
Dowdle,
he plays some pretty easy rush defenses. Like I'm waiting to see his bust game.
We see too many 1-year wonders with running backs. I know he had a decent league but I'm just saying, like, it's very rare that a stud running back is on a team and that team just lets him go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, he's not just doing good. We're not saying he's a good running back. This guy's putting up top tier, this guy's the man type of numbers that, like, a team, if anybody even saw this, Dallas is not getting rid of him. You know what I mean? Like, that's where again, for fantasy this year, hey, if you have him, fantastic. We've seen it. He's gonna carry. He's probably gonna do great the rest of the year. That's just what happens. He's feeling it. He's on a good one. He's good to go. But I don't know. I don't know long term if he's gonna hold up. I don't know. It's crazy. It is crazy though. I'd like this. It doesn't make any sense. I think he's running back like 9 or 8, and he's like started 3 games.
Which says a lot about the fantasy running backs this year. It really does. It says a whole hell of a lot.
Maybe it says something about what's going on in Carolina. Carolina has paid the most money to the offensive line this year. And while they have done that, they've also had the most combinations this year in offensive line because they have the most injuries. They've lost Robert Hunt. They've lost their center Corbett. They've lost
more than the Chargers.
Oh, sure? Look it up. They've lost it all, man. But because they've kept. Here's what they did. Not only did they sign their starters, they signed all their backups too to a 1-year deal. But they kept the cohesiveness here, so it doesn't matter if someone steps up. They're all full confident and they're still full going.
What makes it crazier too is, like, the Panthers don't scare you through the air. So, like, I just don't understand how when you're playing them, it's like, make Bryce Young and whoever he wants to throw the ball to beat you. And like you said, Ben, testament to either the scheme and the offensive line, like, whatever they're doing, no one's catching on. I know the Panthers are hit or miss every week, but in general, like, they're one of the top rushing teams in the league. But
I think it's the defense. What was the score to put the Packers? Like, that defense is rock solid, man.
Run defense, yeah.
I know, but you don't just rush for 200 yards just because your defense is good. Like, Like the other offenses or the other defense, like, I mean, if I'm putting a game plan together, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have seven in the box, and I'm and or eight, and I'm gonna make Bryce Young beat me. And until he shows that he can, you know what I mean? Which Ben thought he was gonna be a top 10 quarterback, but we won't talk about that. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna make him beat me, right? And the games that the Panthers have won, they're rushing for 200 plus yards, and it's like,
Well, remember
what's
who they played.
I, I get it, but no, they had good wins at the beginning of the year too. It wasn't just the last two weeks. Like, Chuba was having a pretty decent year before he got hurt too. It's not like Chuba wasn't doing anything.
Right.
He
Right.
wasn't having the 180-yard rushing games, but
Right.
they were still rushing the ball just fine with Chuba in there. They just got more explosive again. Rico Dado plus who they played, but
Yeah.
in the recent weeks. But yeah, it's just, again, it's rare to see the top rushing team not have a very potent passing game. That's all I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
even the Ravens, right? The Ravens have been the top rushing league and all, but everybody knows Lamar can throw. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, the Bills can run. You got Josh Allen as your quarterback. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Even in Green Bay with Josh Jacobs. Okay, Jordan Love can pick you apart if need be. Like, you normally have an offense that at least threatens you offensively. You very rarely have a team that is so good at running the ball and you don't really trust the quarterback that
Keep
much. It's just,
defenses
it's just
honest.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know what you're
Well,
saying.
not only just the quarterback is like what even receivers scare you. You know what I mean?
No,
So
I'm with you. Like, I
it's
would
just
make
like
Bryce
I don't
throw him
understand what's going on over there. Credit to the coaching, credit to the offensive line, credit to everybody. I'm not trying to dog that. Just like this is kind of rare. It's not like it's rare what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Which is why I wasn't really a big Chuba Hubbard guy. I know he had a good year last year, and that because I'm like, no, Bryce Young is not a top 10 quarterback. It's hard to keep. It's hard to just keep rushing the ball for 2 straight years and not have a quarterback. It
Well,
is. It just is.
the numbers
Yeah.
were saying it, anticipating at the end of last year, right? Like the weird stuff, right? Like the window throws, like. But pay attention. That was his ninth game-winning touchdown. He's only won like 11 games in his career, right? But that was his ninth game-winning, or like fourth, like like how they test it going into the fourth quarter to win it. So there's something about Bryce Young. He's not your guy like Tom Brady. But if you're in there and you're in the game, there's something about the trust in him that when they do need to make it his game, in the end, he can make those throws. But I'm so happy they're leaning on the running game. I'm happy. Uh, I've always said I don't need Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Give me Trent Dilfer, right? Give me Brad Johnson, right? Give me the nastiest defense ever. Give me some run game, and just give me a quarterback that can make some good decisions and that can move his team down the field, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And give me a coach that the team believes in. And I'm starting to believe in some Dave Canales myself. And so it's pretty interesting to see. It's no joke.
Hey,
Go
since
ahead.
Jake called you out, Ben, Jake, we have to talk about the Bills and how they do this to us every stupid year. I wasn't even excited about that. I don't
What's
understand
up?
how they're 5-0 against the Chiefs in the regular season and they're 0-4 in the playoffs.
Well,
Because I'm going to be rooting for the Bills again in the playoffs.
well,
And if they do this to me again,
Oh, no.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh,
I don't
listen,
know what I'm going to do.
so I'll say this. I'm gonna play off
Uh,
first when I watch the game. No. When I watch the game, I'm gonna speak exactly as I'm watching the game, like my first reaction, what first kind of came about. My first reaction was they're letting him hit Mahomes. Mahomes got the shit kicked out of him that game. We have never seen a team hit Mahomes like Mahomes was hit, without the flags and the flags and the flags and the flags. It's like something happened after the Bills game and the championship game last year when the football world erupted and called out the NFL and was like, dude, the Chiefs are getting some kind of favoritism with these calls. The Chiefs O-line not having a holding call in 7 straight, playoff games. Like something happened, but Mahomes looked like he had never looked like a deer, like he'd never seen this before. Just I'm getting hit. I'm being pressured. I am, having to move around and not rely on penalties all the time. I don't know where that defense came from. That Buffalo, they did just get their safety back, but it was out of this world. I And the thing is it was the Chiefs team. You can't blame it on Rashee Rice was back. They're healthy now. Like they're healthy.
They were
Um,
missing Pacheco, but he's not a big part of their offense, so that doesn't really matter.
yeah,
Right
when he was,
But he was last
there,
year.
it's like they weren't using him. So I don't get it with as far as the running backs go. But um, the other thing too, I think a big one is James Cook. Like Josh Allen, his rushing is down this year. I have him in a few leagues, and he's not putting that fantasy output like you hope when you draft him, the first quarterback or second quarterback off the board. Um, I think defenses are having to scheme a little bit differently now. I really wish they would have picked up a receiver, in the trade. But I watched that game and I was like, it was just kind of same thing as you, Nick. Like, you guys do this to me every year. You're gonna, it's gonna be this great game between the Chiefs, and then they're gonna win. And it's like, no, the Bills beat the hell out of them, and it just looked different from the other wins. It wasn't this thing where Josh Allen had to pick up the team on his back and carry him, and they just fell just over the finish line. It was like Josh Allen had a ho-hum game, but they beat the Chiefs in every facet of the game, and there was a different feeling. Like, there was an attitude shift where it's like, you ain't Big Brother anymore. And I mean, God, dude, the I forget who it was that hit him, but Mahomes was running out of bounds. Dude picks up Mahomes in midair and just spears him down to the ground. Wasn't a penalty, he didn't land on him, but it's like that. It's just, oh God, it's so nice to see without a yellow flag on the field.
Yeah, and I completely agree that the difference, that we haven't seen before, and I don't think not too many teams. I mean, other than the recent Super Bowl, you beat them in the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's what's different.
Mm-hmm.
You can sometimes get them one way or the other. It's
Right.
really hard to push the Chiefs around on both sides of the trenches.
Right.
It's really hard.
Right.
And we saw the Eagles do it in the Super Bowl, but the Eagles are the Eagles, and they're the team that kind of does that to everybody. So that was
Right.
kind of expected. But no one else that we've seen has done that or really done that to the Chiefs. Like, the entire game, we've seen maybe bits and pieces of it. The Raiders will do it for a half or whatever, but like, just the whole game, like you said, push them around on both sides of the ball in the trenches.
Yeah.
As we know, Ben, it's your favorite line. You win in the trenches, you win the
Yeah.
game. So hopefully
They're getting healthy.
they can do that, when and if they meet up in the playoffs.
It was a big game because home field advantage could very well be decided by that. And I do think there was a Chiefs bias. I do think there was a lot of penalties that were given to the Chiefs and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to make the win about that. But if that's not there, I think it's a different game with any team, not just Bills, Chiefs. I think any team that plays the Chiefs, it's going to be a different game. I want to see, there's some matchups I want to see. Just
to add some hope onto this, because I do hope the Bills are the team to represent the AFC this year in the Super Bowl. I think we're already seeing it. We've been seeing it. And I'm going to give you some insight in retrospect last week against the Panthers, okay? I'm wearing my Derek Brown jersey because all the way up until week 7, there's film of him tossing somebody every fucking game. He takes somebody and he just tosses them, right? So I was really, really looking forward to this matchup with the Bills. Okay, Jacob? Well, there's film of Derek Brown trying to do the same thing to your boy number 79. And number 79 just throws fucking Derek Brown on the ground and looks at him like, good try. Like, there's something. And then also your defensive line. Your defensive line ate up Andy Dalton for 7 sacks. And so you want to talk about owning both trenches. It's it's very it's very very uh, egregious that the Bills have that, and it was in that game, and we were all advised as Panther fans just to throw that film away. Don't rewatch the game. The coaches didn't. We just got our asses whooped straight up. So we'll see what happens, Jake.
And AFC's wide open right now. I can also see the Bills blowing a game to a team like Cincinnati or whatever. They're so hot and cold. But it's like I said, there's a lot of injuries that guys are getting healthy again. Losing Ed Oliver, their D tackle, that was a big one. But they're getting healthier, and hopefully they got the momentum going when the playoffs hit. But I feel like the AFC is really wide open right now.
Well, it's a good win too. Like you said, like the last thing we want is the Chiefs to have home field advantage again. So
Oh yeah,
yes, they can go off the road. They did it. I think they did it last year. Like we understand they can win, but it just makes it that much harder, right? So having already 4 losses, it's going to be tough. They still have 4 division games. They play the Cowboys. They play the Colts. Obviously the Chiefs will be favorites in those games, but those are losable games. They got even Houston, and then they play the Titans, and the Raiders are one of the division games. So, okay, they'll win those 2, but the other 6 games are, I could see the Broncos. They still play the Broncos twice. You're not telling me they're going to lose one of those games to the Broncos? Play the Chargers again? Could the Chargers sweep them? Absolutely. Like I said, the Texans, the Colts, like the Bills beating them, like it makes it real hard for the Chiefs. I mean, they're not even they're 8 right now.
The Texans defense just keeps. I mean, I'm like targeting like players on that. The Texans defense is incredible right now. They're keeping them the Texans in games. With that anemic offense. But anyways, go ahead. Yeah, we could see a Chiefs potentially whiff the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That'd be
very
fantastic.
It'd be amazing. It'd be awesome. I would love it so much.
Well, right now they're still in the bubble, right?
They're still there. They play the Broncos twice. You said, Nick. They still got it. Okay.
They still got to play the Broncos twice. Wow.
And the Raiders always seem to have one game against the Chiefs.
The Raiders used to beat them.
We do.
They're good for like one of the 2 games they give the Chiefs a scare. It's kind of fun to watch.
It's wide open on both ends, guys. I mean, obviously, the Colts have 7 wins, but the Jaguars at number 7 have 5 wins. There's only 2 games back. The Eagles have 6 wins in the NFC. The Packers were number 1 in the NFC, but the Panthers upset them.
We got to talk about the Colts real quick.
And let's talk about the Colts. I mean, when you're number 1 in the AFC, let's talk about you.
I feel like as great as they've done, as great as Daniel Jones has been, as great as Jonathan Taylor's been, as much as everybody has said, like, they're the real deal, I still feel like it was in the back of everyone's mind. It was like, when are the wheels going to fall off? When are they going to revert back to the fucking ugly duckling kind of thing? Is this loss against the Steelers, the performance by Daniel Jones, is this a real deal? Is this just one of those games where, hey, it's rare you win them all? It's what are the real Colts? What do you guys think? The real Daniel Jones, the real Colts?
I'll answer quickly. I think I don't believe in Daniel Jones, so I'm speaking Colts. Okay, Colts are the real deal. Okay. So the way they run the ball, they win in the trenches. I think Steikens is a fantastic coach. I think they're the real deal. I don't think you can put up that many points. Flawlessly, right? Like it's like we can't justify those points away. They're not all against bad teams. They're against good teams. It's so we've seen the scoring is down across the league. Fantasy points are down across the league, this and that. And so now we're gonna take away credit from the Colts because they can put up points and not believe in it. Like, okay, why aren't all these other teams putting up the same amount of points? So I think it was it's a tough game. The Steelers can play tough. They're coached good too. We all know matchups, make the league, and it just happened to be a bad matchup for them. But I think they're the real deal. They're going to be in there, and honestly, I think they're one of the teams that can beat the Colts or beat the Chiefs. The AFC is run through the Chiefs. We all know that. You have to, you know, beat the champs to get there, and they've been owning the AFC for 6 straight years now. So I always look at, can they beat the Chiefs? Patriots? No, I don't believe it. Steelers? I don't even believe the Steelers can. Bills? Yes. For the past few years, we wanted the Ravens. Yes, and I think the Colts. Yes. Jaguars? No. Even after they beat the Chiefs, they're not beating them in the playoffs. Like I
Right.
can almost guarantee that. Like they're not going to beat them in the playoffs.
See, I
So
I think the Colts are for real. I still believe that Daniel Jones has the ability to, at any time, on any given Sunday against any team, has the ability to cost the Colts a game.
correct. I agree
He's
with that.
very, very capable of having a really bad game. I feel, though, Nick, to what you said, I feel it is a more of a testament. I still believe the Steelers are gonna surprise people. I said that they should easily win the North. I still think that can be. They have the highest payroll on defense in the league, and Aaron Rodgers still looks good. If that defense starts to come around, I think it's more of a testament that the Steelers could potentially beat anybody if they start to get hot. Ben,
It's
what do you
very
say?
similar. I'll be quick. Dude, the Colts are very similar to the Seahawks to me.
Yeah,
They're the Seahawks of the NFC. It's like Sam Darnold. Like, do you believe in him? Like, yes. Like, of course, he did okay. But like any given game, he's gonna turn
yeah,
into Sam Darnold. But the overall team is really good. They're well coached. But yeah, they're a really good team. So yes, I believe they can beat everybody, but I believe they can lose to
yeah,
anybody. So
yeah. Such
because we
great.
don't fully trust the quarterback. But again, we just need a few years. So like nobody believed in Baker Mayfield. I know we keep bringing him up, but same thing, right? Nobody believed in Jared Goff. I did not believe in Jared Goff. I did not believe in the guy. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can have these revamp in the quarterback. So if Steikens and Daniel Jones just end up being like this match, made in heaven, sure. I think Daniel Jones could be the next Baker Mayfield, the next Jared Goff, or whoever else has done that before. But I'm not ready to say that after half a year.
For sure.
It is very interesting, but it's obviously they're riding on an amazing season with Jonathan Taylor. Without Jonathan Taylor, we're not talking about any of this, right?
Hmm.
And that's very, very apparent, and it's so nice to be able to lean on that running game. They're going to have it. They're going to need it for a playoff run, and so we'll see. Like you said, one of a good way of keeping these good offenses and beating them is keeping them off the field. The way you do that is with the run game and defense. You got to keep that offense on. You're not going to beat the offense, so keep them off the field. Gosh darn it, there's other ways to beat them. So I agree with Nick. The Colts, as long as Daniel Jones is there, we'll see. Yeah, they need him for what they need him for. Maybe it's coaching, kind of like the Panthers. We'll see. Like what's going on. Like there's something going on. What's coming into fruition? We'll figure that out. But is there a team here right now, AFC, NFC, that doesn't belong here, guys? Is there a team here that
In the
doesn't
playoff
belong
picture.
right
So I'll
now,
be I'll,
halfway
I'll be
through?
I'll be quick. In the AFC, I don't think the Patriots belong. That's
Wow.
that's they're probably gonna make it because they're if you look at their schedule, it's very easy. I just think they're a little more. What do they call it? Fake or what's the terms they use all the time? But I think they're more on the not that good of a team versus a really good team based off their record.
They're
We'll
fraud.
see if I get proven
They're
wrong, but
fraud.
that's just my bold statement. And then in the NFC, we just said it. The Seahawks. Like, are they? It's hard for me to trust Sam Darnold, even though he had a good year in Minnesota. Like, I don't know. Uh, yeah, I trust their defense a little bit. They don't really run the ball that great. I can't trust their run game. Is Sam Darnold really going to throw 3 to 4 touchdowns every game? Like, I don't know. Again, are they going to make it? Maybe, maybe not. Those are two teams with really good records. So the odds are against me, but like we've seen before, a team will make the playoffs and then get shellacked. Like I think those two teams might get a rude awakening if they do make it.
Um, I would say I'm looking at the standings right now, and it's tough. A few of them jump out. Uh, Denver, to me, the offense has not been consistent enough for me to like
That's a
believe
good
that
one.
they're sitting at 7-2. They've had some games where they've pulled it out at the end. Their defense is great and all that. Potentially, I don't think they probably belong maybe as a wild card. I still the Chargers at 6-3 right now don't belong. They just lost Alt for the season. They've lost Rashawn Slater. They lost another lineman this last week. Amarian Hampton is not coming back anytime soon. The Chargers are not going to be able to keep it together for the year. They will fall out of contention. The team that scares me right now, like for fantasy wise, if you have players, dude, Tampa Bay has lost a lot of dudes on offense, and I know they were on a bye this last week. I forget who they played the week before and got spanked.
Man, no
And
trades.
Baker was off. He was inaccurate all over the place. Like um, to me, I think, and if you look at Carolina's upcoming schedule, they got a few easy games. Carolina is going to overtake that NFC South. So Nick, I'm a little bit on the opposite of you with the Patriots. I think that the Patriots are only getting better. They're only gaining momentum. Drake May looks like the real deal. I kind of think they are going to be there. In fact, to be honest with you, I can't wait to see that at this round 2 of the Bills and the Patriots. Later on. So
Maybe it's because the Raiders beat the Patriots. I don't know.
possible. Every squirrel finds a nut.
I know. It's so,
Golly,
I hate
but
this league. I hate this league.
yeah, but right now, yeah, those are the teams that I'm kind of looking suspect at. I unfortunately, I think the Chargers, if we're talking playoff contention and stuff, they don't belong with as many injuries on that line. It's unfortunate because I love Harbaugh, I love Herbert, and I think they're building a team right. Like if I was a GM, this is exactly how I would build that O line and then build a running game. But it just injuries are just terrible in this league. It kills you. So
Yes, Jake. I would agree the Chargers, but it's not for the reasons why. Even if they had their O line, the same things are still trying to show up. And I know you said you love them, but Justin Herbert, are you kidding me, man? Like, there's something to scratch your head. I know they've won 6 games, but they barely beat Miami. They barely beat Miami. I forget the other team they barely beat. But it's
The
because
Titans.
these same Justin Herbert things are showing up. It's against the Titans where I seen it. I forget what play it was. They're 15 yards out. They're in the red zone. Their guys are all converting to the middle. And Justin throws it freaking right through the uprights. Like,
maybe there's a hot read he's supposed to look at. Are they in field goal range? Are they taking
no, Jake.
a
He
lot of practice?
purposely threw it wherever he threw it, and it was just too freaking hard.
He has no
Okay,
touch.
but Ben,
He has
Ben,
no
why,
touch.
why did you say the Panthers are having all this success? Why are they having all this success?
Defense and run game, good coaching.
You said they spent more money on their O line.
Yeah.
We having all this. You just lost your 2 first round star left and right tackles. You lost Mekhi Becton. Your center's gone. The dude that I forget the dude's name that they picked up off the couch 2 weeks ago is hurt now. Your O line makes a difference, especially when you lost your running back. When your running backs that you're trusting to pass block for you is Kimani Vandal and who else? We question mark. Yeah, it's a different team, and this affects quarterbacks. It really does. Look at Daniel Jones. Look at Sam Darnold, where they came from. Now they got O lines in front of them, and look at the transformation. It's a big deal. Herbert's been a stud for a lot of the year. and then he loses his O-line, and obviously, yeah, and I'm not gonna cherry pick, individual bad passes. Games overall, he's the number 2 quarterback in in fantasy, right? He was number 2. Like, he's been pretty damn good this year, and so to me, I'm over the whole let's rag on Herbert thing. Let's rag on Herbert. They have been decimated as far as their O-line goes, and without Rashawn Slater, when Alt was there, look at the record. Look what they did. Their losses have came when Alt has been gone, and that is Herbert's trusted blindside guy. There's only so much you can do.
And I can't disagree with you that O-line does not affect it, okay? But anyways, it's like I said, even with a good O-line, I think he would still make that stupid throw. NFC, who does not belong here is the freaking Niners.
I agree with you on that.
They do not belong. It kind of reminds me of like who wins in the regular season, but they're nothing. If Kyle Shanahan can't get it done with 28 points in the fourth quarter, if he can't get it done with all the guys that he had against the fucking Chiefs, blah 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 blah, he sure as hell ain't gonna get it done with Mac Jones at the quarterback position, with a CMC who's just, I guess, just staying par to where he needs to be, right? Like, that's all he's really doing, right? Which is still good. But they don't belong here. Okay, Andrew? Okay? F your Niners, bro. Like, I can't wait till we play Monday night in November. Niners, Monday night.
How real are the Rams?
I'm sorry?
Real?
I like the Rams.
Real?
I like the Rams as like a real team. Like, holy shit, Stafford just passed Dan Marino this year on the 9th list for top 9th of all passing. Devontae Adams is finally kind of getting comfortable with them, and you can finally see it. And the defense, it shows up. So I think they are going to win the division. But they are going to make a significant run as long as Stafford is still doing his thing. So
yeah, that defense is great, and Stafford's playing awesome.
That's my take on it. But with that said, guys, that's well over an hour on the show. But if there's anything else that you'd like to cover on our show tonight, please let us know.
Don't be afraid to make trades. Whoever's watching, just pull the trigger. We got to figure out how to spice up the trade deadline a little. You're not married to that initial draft day roster. Make some trades, help your team out,
and also see what happens. The bye weeks are still there, so sometimes people just have to drop somebody, and it ends up being something that helps you. Just pay attention. Believe it or not, guys, the 10-man team, I need a tight end. He was sitting there all week, and I didn't realize Dalton Kincaid is sitting right there. And someone just is. So I'm going to try and get him, guys, and we'll keep you updated on that one. But, guys, what a pleasure. What a great show. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you, Jake, for being here. Thank you for all our chatters, Seth, Angel, and for the rest of the people for being here today. We will be here again next week on Tuesday, 6 p.m. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much. Peace be the journey.
Later, guys.
And one love.
Been fun.
Good job, Jake.